After assuming power in Karnataka, it seems like the new government is all set to correct what the erstwhile BJP government had initiated in the state. The Slugfest has begun with the Congress's attempt to withdraw the Karnataka Prevention of Cow Slaughter and Preservation of Cattle Act, which was introduced by the BJP in the year 2020. Now, the trigger for this latest face-off between the ruling Congress and BJP is a statement made by Animal Husbandry Minister K. Venkatesh, who asserted that the anti-cow slaughter legislation should be withdrawn and also added, and I quote, "If one can slaughter buffaloes and bulls, what is wrong with slaughtering cows?" Wajihulla, tell me, the protest against this, how intense is it from the BJP? Because we've heard ex-Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai speak about it. I mean, there are several tweets by him where he's condemned this entire thing and also others. And it's a very touchy subject, isn't it, Vaji?
Well, as to the cow is holier than thou in Karnataka, if you see. And if we talk about the protest, we've seen BJP workers across Karnataka coming out and voicing their dissent against this entire matter since the Animal Husbandry Minister spoke about it. But we are yet to see ministers come out on the street and protest. We've seen Bommai reacting to it. We've seen Pratap Simha reacting to it. But both of them have said that it would be wrong if they take back the cow bill. But if you see on the ground, it's just the workers who have come out. As of now, we don't see any minister or MP on the ground. You've seen them doing their activism on Twitter and elsewhere, but you don't see them on the ground especially. But this statement has since given a hope to a few farmers who feel that in the last 3 years or 2 years since the bill has come, a lot of their cattle is getting wasted and they're not able to sustain these animals that they're not allowed to slaughter. Despite the fact that the bill also says that after the age of 13, the animals can be slaughtered, but the cow cannot be slaughtered, is what the bill mentioned. Apart from that, it allows other animals to be slaughtered. So the farmers who do the business in cattle, who are involved in the cow and the milk business, dairy business, they find it very difficult. And that is why if you go to the outskirts of Karnataka, you would see a lot of these animals wandering along the highway. You would see a lot of them dead on the street because it is these farmers who are leaving them out because they cannot sustain the baggage of taking care of this animal. And that is why the government as of now has just mentioned in one of the press conference. So far, Siddaramaiah has already clarified saying that no such discussion has been decided on this particular bill. But yes, in future cabinet, we might see this coming as a topic of discussion. So you might see some changes happening in Karnataka, but for the time being, it is just a matter of discussion amongst people like us. The government hasn't really taken a decision on it.
Right. Wajihulla, you brought up two things here which are very important and which is also applicable to several other states who are also talking about this. For instance, there is this bill in Himachal, in Madhya Pradesh. Now, in Uttar Pradesh particularly, they were talking about this khuli gai, chutta, which you say, which is, unko aap chhod dete hain, you just let them be and they are roaming hither and thither and they are eating plastic, they are being harmed by traffic or by some electric pole, etc., etc. Now, tell me, Wajihulla, for that the BJP government had said, why are you worrying? We will send all these cows who are either ailing or really aged or of no use, in the sense that it cannot anymore give milk and of course reproduce, we will send them to the Gaushalas, free, please send them to the Gaushalas. Now the thing is, the farmers are saying, great, I buy cattle, I rear that cattle, I feed that cattle, then I give it to you free. Don't you think there is a basic slugfest there also, Vaji?
Well, yes, the government has surely said that they will open Gaushalas and they will provide them with basic necessities and stuff. But if we just travel, I was in Delhi for the last 4 years before I came to Bangalore. If we just travel from Delhi towards Greater Noida, Jewar, and the other parts of Meerut and this thing, you would find a lot of these Gaushalas in and around the highway. But you would find them empty. And I'm particularly talking about the government Gaushalas. not the ones that are run privately. The ones that are run privately, they somehow or the other manage funds to make sure that the cows that they are catering to are taken care of. But the ones that the government has promised, you would see them empty without anybody taking care of them. So one point that you have raised, that the farmer will question this, that how am I going to benefit if I'm going to take care of it and then give it back to you for free? But on the other hand, the fact that he's giving it for free and they're still not being taken care of is another big problem that the government has not catered to. Though they've passed this bill, they've passed the law, they've given rights to vigilantes also in these bills. But when you see it on the ground, when you go to these gaushalas, they are empty. You would not see cows in most of the gaushalas. I will not say that every gaushala is like that, but most of them that I have visited during my travels in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, I have seen that they were empty. And when I've asked those people, they said, "भैया हमारे को खाना देने के लिए पैसे नहीं है, उनको कहाँ देंगे?" So this is the feedback that you get from these people. So when it comes to cow slaughter, the sentiment is what that is being valued, not the situation on the ground.
Right, and pretty much the same situation unfolds in Karnataka. Let me come back to you. Satish Kumar, who is a very well-known lawyer, is also joining us. Satish, for the benefit of the viewers, you see, it is just understood as if, a cow slaughter bill is a recent phenomenon. It is not. There is a 1964 Act, if I am not wrong, and what it said. Now, also the BJP government, there was this, so bill is also an adaptation of the 2010 bill, if you may recall. It was introduced when Yedurappa ji was in power, then it was shelved in 2013 by Siddaramaiah, and then the Siddaramaiah government reverted back to 1964. So, too much confusion is happening. So, for the benefit of the viewers, could you just put it in perspective as to what this entails, Satish?
First of all, we should understand that protecting cows, or whether it's cattle or buffalo or cows, it is basically on humanitarian aspect one thing. And even our constitution is giving, it's already stated in our directive principle of state policy, that cow slaughter should not be there in animal husbandry, especially cows are to be protected, which has been stated very clearly in our constitution. As it was already in our constitution, however it is under the state principles, it is the bounden duty of each and every state, and it is founded by our great leader, Dr. Ambedkar also. And when the discussion was happened during before the Assembly, Constituent Assembly, Dr. Ambedkar was very clear in protecting the animals, especially cows. If this government, especially the Congress government, they say that they are following the principles of Gandhian movement and Gandhiism and also Ambedkarism, then this government should not do like this, or they should not even create a situation, especially in Karnataka at this stage, because people are already having a lot of trouble because of the false promise given by the Karnataka government. I feel it is only a diverting strategy of the people from their basic demands, what already the Karnataka people are expecting the government to do, especially on the subsidies of power and all those things. And I feel it is basically the Siddaramaiah government is doing only to divert the attention of the people from the main core issues what Karnataka is facing. And generally, no, this political vendetta takes place in any government. Whenever the government changes, the political vendetta takes against some individuals, maybe like ministers or any individuals. But it is highly shocking and surprising that this Congress government at present is taking the political vendetta against the principles of our constitution, and also against the principles of whatever the previous government did. And whether it is based on sentiments, or it is based on business, or based on the productivity of the state, or whatever it is, they are taking these steps, especially as a political vendetta against the previous government.
That is regular. That is usual, Satish. There is one government will revoke what the other government has done. But the point is that if you want to explain to the viewers what is the difference, if you look at it, between what Siddaramaiah introduced way back, and what amendment does it want now in the present bill, how would you describe that, Satish?
what I feel personally, if you see that when you observe, especially the Animal Husbandry Minister, Mr. Venkatesh said, keeping the cattle, especially cows, why it can't be slaughtered after some certain period. That was what I understood from the
Right.
translation, what you gave also now.
Yes.
What do you mean by that certain period? No, because it has got a lot of meaning in it. That's what I personally feel. Or if you say certain period, whether it is at the after its non-usable age, if you say practically maybe when it is not giving milk or something like that, even whether is it a government is going to allow a slaughter of cows at that age, or at what is that the period, or what do you say as a certain period? See, this is all the law giving some sort of loopholes using that law, and the slaughter will happen very regularly there. That's
Now,
what has
let me tell you,
happened in the
Satish, let
previous
me read it out. Let me read it out. It came into effect in January 2021 and makes it illegal to buy, sell, transport, slaughter and trade in all cattle, which is cows, buffalo, oxen. The only exception is buffaloes which are above the age of 12 or 13 and also terminally ill, but only after a certification from a vet. Those were, so here look at it, it's cows are excluded after the age to be slaughtered. You see, I think that is the basic difference, Satish. And you quoted Ambedkar. Let me also bring up what Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi was, one of the first who focused on what he thought. He said the central fact of Hinduism is cow protection. Cow protection to me is something which is a wonderful phenomenon in human evolution. It takes the human being beyond this species. That's what he said about the cow. But he also said, I would not kill a human being for protection of a cow, as I will not kill a cow for saving a human life, be it ever so precious. He also said cow slaughter can never be stopped by law. Now, this is Gandhi on cow protection. He is, of course, he revered the cows, but he knew very well that this country is also made of different people, and hence I want to go to Wajihulla now. Wajihulla, tell me something. Like Satish said, do you think that the Congress is only doing it to score brownie points, to say, oh, I can do it better than you can, because Siddaramaiah has experience of having done it earlier, but or it is also to kind of, just like Satish said, it could be just to spite the BJP. But if they want to change it, then I think they will go back to the 1964 Act, Or what do you think? I mean, what do you think the Congress has in its mind? Because right now, what Animal Husbandry Minister said, he says, when you can slaughter buffaloes, why can't you slaughter cows? So, I think somewhere they want to bring aging, terminally ill cows also into the ambit, Wajihulla.
One thing you should understand that Siddaramaiah himself comes from the Kuruba community, a community that is known as the shepherd community, known for rearing cattle. So he clearly, somewhere or the other, understands the issues that the farmers on the ground are facing. He clearly understands that how an aged cattle is going to be very heavily weighed on a farmer, on a poor farmer especially. So the reason why we suddenly see this debate on this cow slaughter bill is after that statement, surely. But what the Karnataka Congress is also trying to do here, I feel, is to make sure that those people who could not slaughter their cows, who could not get anything out of their cattle after it is aged, well, for every person who holds the cattle, they find it as a part of their family at some point of time because it is something that's helping them grow or feed their family. So after a point when the cattle stopped doing that, that is when the people have asked the government to look into that aspect of the slaughter bill. So the Siddaramaiah government, while speaking to the press, also said that we might look into this bill in the coming cabinet. There's provisions like the age factor of the cattle, the idea of cow not being mentioned, though he did not openly mention that, but he sided with the minister in those facts, and that is what something he wants to bring in because previously, also, if you see, that Yediyurappa's cow slaughter bill was cut off by Siddaramaiah. He clearly gave the access to people to have slaughter the cow, and
Sure.
also the other aspect they are looking into this is the vigilante
Yes,
process that you see. That
absolutely.
is something that they want to cut down to. Because
Yes.
the bill clearly mentions that how vigilantes, those who are doing this, are a part of the system, and that is something that Siddaramaiah is against it, and that is one the other reason why they're looking into this bill.